Hello, my name is Damon Jaymes. I am a celebrity hairstylist from the late 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm in the process of writing my memoirs in a book form. I'm available for interviews, what have you. I'm looking for a publisher. I do have a book inside of me that I'm just anxious to release. I came to Hollywood in 1958 to be an actor. That didn't work out as well as I had anticipated. Then I decided I wanted to become a hairstylist. I went to the Hollywood College of Beauty, the Academy of Beauty on Hollywood Boulevard. From there, I met Hedda Hopper, which was friends of the owners of the school, and Hedda Hopper, the famous columnist, gossip columnist, took a liking to me. She introduced me to George Masters of Saks Fifth Avenue. And George also took a liking to me, and I became his protege. After finishing the academy, I became George Masters' assistant. From there, I went on to establish my own clientele. And I worked for Madame Lily Dachet, various famous salons, the Hair Hunters, all over Hollywood and Beverly Hills area. And I was introduced to Jennifer Jones through Hedda Hopper. I became her personal hairstylist, even though she was reclusive. I became Dinah Shore's personal hairstylist. I worked on her show with her. I also became Margot Albert's personal hairstylist when I worked at Lily Dachet. And I also cut her husband's hair, Eddie Albert. I met Rosemary Clooney when I was working at Lily Dachet. From there, I went to work for Jane Chacove with my own clientele. And then after leaving Jane Chacove, I opened my own salon on Sunset Boulevard. In the interim, I did June Allison's wigs. Max Factor made her wigs, and I was the stylist for June Allison's wigs. I also worked for Jane Wyatt, Lena Horne, Judy Garland, Mel Torme. Mel Torme was Judy Garland's musical conductor arranger, and I worked on the Judy Garland show. I also did Frank Sinatra's hairpieces that was made by Max Factor. I worked for Peggy Lee, Carmen McRae, Sam Cooke, Sarah Vaughan, Neil Adams, and Steve McQueen when they were married. I also did Cher's wigs. I owned the wig shop as well on Sunset Boulevard. And Cher used to come to my wig salon and purchase her wigs. I also did Tina Turner's wigs. I worked for Elizabeth Montgomery, Agnes Moorehead, Peter Lawford, Dean Martin, Sandra Day, and Jimmy Darren, Jane Mansfield, Mickey Haggerty, which Mickey Haggerty was a bodybuilder, and he became Mr. Universe, the title holder, 1955, I understand. And ironically, Jane Mansfield had a nightclub act which she took to Biloxi, Mississippi, and I was scheduled to go with her to Biloxi. However, an illness took place in my immediate family. My son, which was a toddler, he became ill, and his mother asked me not to go, not to leave them alone, so I stayed. The next thing I heard, which was on the news, Jane Mansfield had been killed. She had been decapitated. Her chauffeur, her attorney, boyfriend, and she were in the front seat. Her two children in the back seat, lying down. And I understand it was a foggy morning, and the chauffeur did not see a semi-tractor trailer truck in front of them, and he ran under the tractor trailer truck. And so ironically, that was fate. I could have been in that car. So, but I'm here today.